Trey, can you hear me? All right, good deal. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back. We're so glad that to see all the bright, shiny faces back on campus. Hope each and everyone had a great time this summer, whether staff took a vacation to get away or faculty that are coming back. What a great year that we had this past year, and so excited about the upcoming year that's in front of us. And speaking of getting away, I was just talking to our student worker there about getting away, and lo and behold, Norsemen are everywhere, everywhere. And I would say the only way that you know that they're there is if you have conversations with people and you interact, or you're driving down the road 85 miles an hour, 80. This is being recorded. And your wife reaches over to you, we're in the state of Maine, and says, "Did you see that car that just passed us?" And I said, "What?" "Look at the license plate." So I was going a little bit faster. The governor was not in effect in the rental car. And I caught up to the car that had a Maine license plate that said Norseman. And so if you saw my Facebook post, I had many people ask if I stopped and talked to them, and I said, no, that was zoomed in, and that's as close as we got. But, so that night I had to kind of wonder, are there others, or who is this? And Google, and trying to do my private investigator skills, I could not find the owner of that car. But I did find the Norseman Resort in Ogunquit, Maine. So Norsemen are not only here in Miami, Oklahoma, but they're everywhere. And so, and obviously we have great alumni stories as well. So I just thought I'd share that story. I wasn't planning to do that, but just talked about it and thought I'd throw that in there. But I know some of you all are back in your offices helping students get enrolled for the fall semester, so I appreciate those that are in our student services area. And I would simply say, start by now. I've met a lot of you over the last couple of days, but if you have joined the NEO family in the last 365 days, please stand. Please stand, don't hesitate. Welcome. We welcome you to the Norse family, and as you will hear, this is a special place. Not only will you hear that today, but you'll hear that throughout your time working here, and I am thankful that you have joined to be a part of this great institution. Next, I would like to introduce the NEO administration. Our Vice President, Executive Director, please stand up as I call your name. Dr. Dustin Grover, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Miss Amy Ishmael, Vice President for Student Affairs. Brando Glick, Vice President for Fiscal Affairs. Executive Director for Development, Mr. Ryan Orcutt. So this is your NEO administration that do a great job each and every day, and appreciate the work that you all do. But with the new faces, thought it was appropriate for you all to be recognized. So thank you all. Go right ahead. As I said, NEO is truly more than a college. It's so much more. And it's a community where our students come to campus. It's a community where they grow in the classroom, but they also grow outside of the classroom. And I think that only happens because of the faculty and the staff that work together to help support our students. And there's been a theme, I think, the last couple of days, and that really kind of extended from a retreat a couple of weeks ago. But I really want to focus in on how we can do so much more when we work together. And at the end of the day, I really do truly believe that the dreams, our students' dreams truly begin here at NEO. And that only works through a collective work that really extends way beyond these sidewalks, these walls, into the world, and kind of reflecting on the main story. But NEO alumni are everywhere, and we've got a great story to tell. I really think that we should really take great pride in our small college experience with big opportunities, from outstanding academics to our vibrant student life. here on this campus. That's truly what sets us apart, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. We've had some, and I would simply start off by making sure that, as I'm not going to sit here and read it to you, but what our mission is. And so when I talk about the work that we do here extends way beyond the sidewalks and the walls here on this campus. It's into a global society. And when you think about this past year, 34 states and like 14, 15 countries were represented on this campus. We have something truly special here on this campus. And as you talk about what do we hope to be as it relates to this institution, we want to be a leader in rural residential community college education, nationally competitiveness. And I think we have a lot to celebrate this past year, which we'll get into as we go through. But as we think about the upcoming year, it's important to talk about where we are as we lead into the fall semester, and want to begin off by saying that as of this morning, we're sitting around 5.5% up for the upcoming fall 2025 year. Absolutely. Round of applause. And when you break down that enrollment number, I think it's important to understand the flavor of students that we have as it relates to type of different students. New freshman enrollment's up around 5.5%. Our continuing students are up about 5.5%. One of the areas that we're up significantly this year is concurrent enrollment. That continues to be a statewide initiative from the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education. I believe we're up about 23% in concurrent enrollment as we speak. And I would simply point about relationship. I would simply say that relationships do matter in all aspects of those three categories. And you've heard this time and time and again. We are all the recruiters and retention officers of this institution. Job well done for each of every one of you all. But I'll point out to the concurrent enrollment, if you will, those numbers. We got a couple of calls this past year to talk about how can we do concurrent enrollment better. And we had a workshop that we invited our area schools in to talk about that. And lo and behold, we heard some things that they suggested, and we've got an increase in concurrent enrollment. And I was at an event, again, NEO is everywhere. I was at an event Friday night in Tulsa, raising money for the Tulsa State Fair, and started talking to some Connor State graduates. This gets better. And they told us that their son is actually enrolled here. I talked to you, they were in your class, Brent, about it last semester, but he's in Oologah, and he has an interest in ag, and I said, man, there's a lot of places that you could have gone between Oologah and Miami, Oklahoma. Of course, it's online, but he's interested in ag and knows that we have a standard, and has chosen to do concurrent enrollment so that he can be primed to be here potentially next year as a new freshman. And any time that I hear that their parents went to another institution and they want to send them here, that's a win, folks. And we've got something to be very, very proud about on enrollment. Partnerships, a couple of partnerships we want to talk about that I think are pretty exciting. Still trying to get across the finish line with GRDA, but it's a Knowledge is Power scholarship for our nursing program. And they have given us the green light. We are trying to secure some community sponsors to help us create a path forward for income restricted students that want to go into our nursing program and are committed to going back and serving in their communities beyond graduation. Very excited about that. The next one is Oklahoma State out-of-state tuition waiver pathway program. And I can tell you that we've already sent students, but I've already heard students that are choosing us. Met a young man from Illinois, Indiana yesterday, Cole, is that his name? Livestock judging, maybe the wrong name, but met he and his family as they were at the business office. And that was one of the big draws to him, being able to carry on to Oklahoma State. I do believe this will help us strengthen our ability to get out-of-state students here on this campus. And again, add to the flavor as it relates to how many students how many states are represented across the country on this campus. And then lastly is just a couple of weeks ago we announced, and we were a part of the announcement with Kansas City University in Joplin, Missouri, where they want to create a rural healthcare scholars program that extends to 8 community colleges across the 4-state region and creates a fast pathway, fast track, if you will, into med school and dental school at Kansas City. University there in Joplin in conjunction with Missouri Southern and also Pittsburgh State University. Again, trying to find opportunities to help students find a career path quickly. And I would simply say that we challenged in the last couple of days, been challenged about how to help high school students to be at a point where they become new freshmen and enter into our nursing program as well. And so that's the conversation as it relates to workforce pipeline. How do we get them out there sooner? And so we've got to honor our traditions, but we must continue to be innovative as we move forward. And I think these are great opportunities as it relates to these partnerships. And I'd simply say that I already know of a junior in high school that has chosen not to participate in certain activities because he is interested in the pathway to Kansas City University. And so, and we're still working out the details, right, Dr. Grover? But are excited about the fact that that has already gotten us an interested student in that program. Fundraising this past year, excellent job all the way across campus. We have a great community that fully embraces the work that you do on this campus. At the gala, $131,000 was raised, which was a record. The last previous record was set during the centennial. Kudos to Ryan and the NEO Foundation Board for all the work that they have done. 11 new scholarship endowments this past year, which could be potentially a record, and excited about the scholarship opportunities that are now available because of the generosity of others. And then this last week, we received notification of a $75,000 grant from the Cherokee Nation to help with some HVACs in Connie Hall, and also to upgrade some of our wellness equipment in the Wellness Center. And so very excited about that. Some of the other projects that have been ongoing over this past year include the Ward Family Player Development Facility, and it's right to the very end. Hope to be laying turf here in the next couple of weeks. Appreciate all the private donors that have been a part of that project from the beginning. And as you see, the eyesore next to the Library Administration Building is still there, and we'd like to say pardon our progress, and we are crossing our fingers that that will be done in the next, we'll say in the next month. Does that give you enough time frame, hopefully, for the iconic fountain to be back in place? And I would simply say Mary Jane Gregg Sidoti, her estate gave us the funding to help us with that improvement, as well as a scholarship endowment. So great successes. And when I think about success, you know, we're in the business of student success, and so excited that the Student Support Services received a grant. Congratulations, Student Support Services. A lot of movement in Washington, D.C., and so glad that we were able to do that. That's an important part of the fabric of the students that we serve here on this campus, and so excited and appreciative of that. And I would even say that I think it was a record year for a lot of other student successes, and I don't know if I have these are here or not. Yeah, I do, right here. Thales, third year in a row, National Championship Esports Team. Congratulations. We're very appreciative of the work that they do, and if you've not watched them on Twitch, is that what it's called? Stitch, Twitch, something, whatever that effect. It's pretty interesting stuff. So grab you some popcorn and a Coke, and you too can watch the national champion esports team. Congratulations to you all. FBLA had a great year. Pretty cool for me to be able to go to our regents and tell them that we had won the Stock Market Challenge first place. The students were given a hypothetical of here's $100,000. How would you invest it? And at the end of the day, they had done the best. They have not given me the secret to their success, but congratulations to FBLA. And I know that we also sent students to nationals, right? And we had a 7th place finisher as well. Congratulations, Whitney. And I would be remiss if I didn't say something about the best livestock judging team on campus in a long time. Congratulations, Maddie and team. Hello, test. And it has a red battery light. Somebody help me with the battery, please. And so while they are doing that, some of the comments in regards to the livestock judging team won several competitions, but won the North American Livestock Contest in Louisville, Kentucky. Was the last time that we won 1991? Sounds like, I think that's what it was. And we had 2 All-Americans this past year on that team, one of which was what they call the #1 All-American, which means he is the highest rated person in the country, Tyson Gravenhoff from Montana. Not to forget Brighton Lane, who is also an academic All-American. Speaking of all academic teams, we had 40 student athletes that got recognized by the NJCAA or the National Wrestling Group. What's your wrestling group called? NWCA. Congratulations to our student athletes. The list goes on, and I know that I have forgotten a few, but I just wanted to give you a flavor of the great success that we had. We had a great graduation. Commencement was excellent, and there's not a better day on campus than watching students walk across the stage. And so that would not be possible without the support of each and every one of you, not only from the classroom, but everybody, the wraparound services that we do each and every day to support our students. Moving on to some other campus updates. One of the rules, the field goal posts continue to kind of change as it relates to what we have to chase in higher education. And one of those was a transcript hold. About a year and a half ago, the United States government, Department of Education, required us to remove a transcript hold for students that receive federal financial aid. And so that puts us in a bad situation when a student can go to school here and then leave and get their transcript but never pay us. And so this Bursar policy that's been a part of the business office, Holly and team, we appreciate the work that you've done there, but we now have payment plans that are being proactively pushed out to our students. As a reminder, $500 is what those students should be down below in order to enroll from the fall to the spring semester. But I simply say all that to say that there's been a herd of people working with students to help sure that they understand their financial responsibilities, but also to make sure that their financial aid is in place. And so despite, our applications for financial aid are actually up this year, but even the percentage of people that have completed, and that doesn't just happen automatically, and that's a concerted effort by the business office, financial aid, success coaches, even our athletic coaches that are helping push that along. And that's something that we've got to continue to focus on as we try to do the best that we can to help support students. And I appreciate that going forward. This past year, the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education used the University of Cincinnati Economics Center to conduct a study on the impact of higher education in the state of Oklahoma. And the study says for every dollar that is invested into state of Oklahoma, higher education, is a return of $17.48 or $14.6 billion as it relates to economic impact because of higher education. And if you drill down on that number, every dollar given to NEO equates to $10.52, which is up from about $7.50 the last time this study was done. So our economic impact across the state of Oklahoma, that's from student spend, that's your spending, that's alumni spending, totals about $83 million across the state of Oklahoma. And I would simply say they probably missed out on some of our students because a lot of our graduates go on into Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas. And so that's not a clear impact because it's only a state of Oklahoma number. Legislatively speaking, talking about goalpost movement, I'll start with the state of Oklahoma. This past legislative session, the House and Senate and the governor came together to reduce income tax 0.25%. And so that will come into play this fall. If I remember correctly, that's about a $90 savings for each of you, but it potentially creates a deficit in the budget in the upcoming year. And so we'll be watching that closely as we look to the future. General revenues for the state of Oklahoma still remain very strong, which is a good thing. Thank you, Oklahoma City Thunder basketball, right? I read an article that it had a huge impact to the Oklahoma State economy, and so we wish them the best. And so obviously got to put in Iverson, the alumni coordinator. I got to throw in a NEO connection. If you knew, SGA's little brother played here in 21-22, if you did not know that. And so again, connections of alumni are everywhere. And so we'll be watching the general revenues. There was concern this past session about that. In fact, there was a shortfall. The state of Oklahoma had about $4.4 billion in savings, and so they helped fill our gap this past year to hold our state appropriations flat. And so that'll be something that we continue to watch very closely as we move forward, because if anybody worked in higher ed in 16 and 17, you will recall that we had a mid-year cut, and it put a lot of institutions in a bad situation. And so we'll continue to watch that. The other part of things I would simply say, the one big beautiful bill that was passed and federally, really not a whole lot of like direct impact on us, but things that we have to start thinking about doing differently. For example, default rates on loans is something that is being promoted now, and so the big beautiful bill does not come into play until July of next year. But another one is an earnings requirement. Let's see, the term is earnings premiums, and so they're going to look at students that are going straight out in the workforce from us and compare those wages to those of high school graduates. And I think we're pretty safe with MLT, nursing, and our PTA. There we go, Dawn. I wasn't going to forget you. But you know, that's something that we'll have to continue to learn about over the next couple of months and be ready to be in play for this upcoming year, so that we can capture data as it relates to our with our students, and obviously the other workforce programs that we have there. So that's one thing that will continue. More information will come, and we'll stay on top of that. Another one that we've been chasing in just in the last 4 or 5 days is State of Oklahoma. Gettner Drummond and the Department of Justice has basically filed a suit regarding our ability to offer in-state tuition to undocumented students. And so I can tell you that that number is very small, less than 5 on this campus, but those are 5 students that are choosing higher education, have chosen NEO. And so that's not a place that we want to be. The final order has not been rendered yet. I'm anticipating that in the next day or two. We will be making phone calls individually to those students today based upon feedback from attorneys and legal counsels across the state of Oklahoma. And so it's very sad for me, but we will do what we've got to do in order to be compliant with state and federal law. Lastly, deferred maintenance. Some improvements this past year. Copeland parking lot, a third of it, where we're going to work on the next third this next fiscal year. Abels finally has HVAC, right? And Dyer Hall is to the point that we've got new HVAC and new plumbing. And some of these things, when we talk about deferred maintenance, are not flashy. It's behind the scenes. It's like plumbing behind the walls. And so we're so thankful, though, that the state legislature has provided $2 million to NEO for deferred maintenance. And that was going to be split out over the next 2 to 3 years. But we captured that funding up front, and we'll be continue to work on improvements across our campus that are critical to what we do each and every day. And again, I remind you to say they're not always flashy upgrades across campus with this funding. And I'll pause and simply say, library administration building, yes, still does have a temporary roof. And when you deal with adjusters and insurance, it's not always fun, but we are working as diligently as we can. In fact, I think there's somebody back here today trying to help us move forward for that. And so next time you see Representative Bayshore or Senator Bergstrom or other reps and senators in the area, be sure to say thank you again for this deferred maintenance. I'm not sure that when we will see some type of gift of deferred maintenance funding in the foreseeable future. Exciting news. It's truly exciting news. We have partnered with Sodexo, and I am pleased to say that next March, yes, March, We will be renovating the galley space right out here to provide a new space for our students and you all, and we will be proudly brewing Starbucks on this campus. Our students deserve it. You deserve it, right? And so obviously we tried very hard to make something happen this summer. The time frame of doing that is not feasible, and so we're still trying to finalize the timeline, but we anticipate that we will close down the galley in March of next year, spring break, and so that we can begin the renovation so that when we come back this next fall, we will be in a great place for our students to receive. And so we're excited about that. We'll get some renderings out to you all in the coming weeks, but truly excited about that new improvement, and that's in partnership with Sodexo. We would not be able to do that with Sodexo. Drew's in the back. We appreciate you, Drew, and the work that you and your team do day in, day out. Yeah, absolutely. Some highlights as it relates to where we are in state appropriations. Try to give this slide every year, again, flat year over year as it relates to state appropriations. Section 13 offset is a flat. That's a construction deferred maintenance budget, and also debt service payments are taken care of out of there. Concurrent enrollment, that number's up about $30,000 from what we received a year ago. And so what happens is we charge the state of Oklahoma behind after the year's over as it relates to how many students were concurrent. They reimburse us the next year. And then again, with one-time funding, the legislature, property insurance premiums continue to go up substantially all across all walks of life, personal, residential, commercial, and even on college campuses. And so we appreciate the support that we've had. Take a snapshot as it relates to enrollment this past year. The student credit hour production, we ended up about a little over 47,500 credit hours. So you can see that there has been obviously the continual decline, and if you go back between before 17 and 18, there was an even steeper decline probably for the 8 years prior to that, based upon those numbers. And so we feel like we're moving in the right direction. So as we approach this current fiscal year, we did increase tuition by $5, and just have an understanding that when we raised something $5, that generated roughly $235,000 in new money. And so it's not something that we take lightly. We really talk about the tuition and fees and the cost to our students, but it was necessary. We'll talk a little bit about more of that in just a second. Housing, this past year we removed our housing deposit. I think that varied from $90 up to even further. That housing deposit has gone away, and we rolled in $50 into the base of the housing options that you see on the screen there. Meal plan increases overall about a 4.1% increase for the various plans that you see there. And so what does that really look like at the end of the day for the cost of a student? $201 for a semester if they're enrolled in 15 hours, or $402. And so again, not something that we take lightly, but it's important that we take care of our mandatory cost increase, which I'll get into here. Pleased to say that, not pleased to say that healthcare insurance premiums continue to rise astronomically, over 10%. We already know that it's going to be at least 10% for the upcoming year as well, but we're pleased to be able to say that we're covering that for all of our all of our employees, and that's an investment commitment to you all. That's not typical across other sectors outside of higher education, and I would even say it's not even typical for all higher education institutions. But it's our commitment to you to make sure that if we are not giving a pay raise, we are making sure that there's not less money coming out of your check as it relates to your health care benefit. Thank you. And again, we want to do more, but we also have to be smart as what the future holds. That was over roughly $110,000 increase to our budget this upcoming year. IT and infrastructure and services, we've learned that we love technology and we hate it when it doesn't work. And when the water flows into the server room, you have other issues, and so we're still working through some of those insurance reimbursements and purchases. But IT has some critical needs as it relates to network service, network switches, softwares that are here, and then also faculty laptops. Have those been dispersed? How about that? Faculty laptops. I think that was roughly $140,000 of those projects. And so as you can see real quick, those two things already exceed what the tuition revenue was going to bring in. Fleet maintenance, I think everybody enjoys these nicer, newer vehicles versus the old what do they call, Crown Vics. We're going to bring a couple back for nursing. Just kidding. But we've got to take care of what we have. And so we had some increases to our budgets this year as it relates to travel, and that's a way for us to continue to maintain. We know that additional vans are needed for our student safety and student travel, and so those are things that we'll be working on for the upcoming year. Lastly, of course, the utilities. If you live in the city of Miami, you've probably received some type of notice that says your utility bill is going to go up about 12%. And obviously that impacted us as well, and so we've planned for that as a part of this upcoming budgets. And so those are not very flashy items, but I want to be honest as it relates to what is going on. Here's a snapshot of our E&G budget, about $20 million up, about $300,000 from a year ago, and so that kind of shows you that we're at a zero-based budget, so we are flat. We're not creating a deficit there. Moving on to the auxiliary budget, again, we had increases as it relates to, you can see that there's some wonky numbers there, but obviously we've built an auxiliary budget with a $5,000 deficit. Feel good about that budget, but that is increases from our housing cost, also the meal plan cost, but we also have some scholarships that are now hitting this from a revenue side that we have historically not done. So all in all, $29.8 million budget, as you can see, roughly $500,000 from the overall from a year before. Another snapshot as it relates to, I think I get this question a lot. This is really here for my benefit, is what does the state of Oklahoma contribute to our I'd say enrollment, and so here's you a quick one. About 27% of what we do comes from the state of Oklahoma. That doesn't translate to what a student's cost is, but pretty much. 36% as it relates to the student and tuition and fees. And then lastly, a lot of legislatures really zero in on our E&G operations, not our auxiliary. And as you can maybe able to see, about 56% is tuition and fees, 44% is appropriations. And you can see if you go all the way to the far left how that has changed substantially. But if you look at appropriations, also take a quick look where the blue line ends from the far left to where the blue line is today. And so you can see that we're still trailing from what state appropriations are on this particular slide. Debt service continues to be a thing that we worry about, but also say that we're in a much better position than 5 years ago. And so that continues to decrease on an annualized basis. But we're still at a point that any type of improvements that happen, it's not a debt service payment that we're able to go and take on because of this right here. And so when something catastrophic fails, that $2 million in deferred really helps us, or we better have cash in the bank as it relates to making improvements. Speaking of which, we have, you'll see capital improvements, capital money is $1.5 million. That is not something that we've had before. That is part of the legislature that is here that's helped us, but we're in a good, solid cash position to be able to take on any curveballs that may lie ahead for us. And so I appreciate the work that each and everybody does to stay within budgets. We thought this number was going to be much lower in June, but because not everybody went and spent the bank in June, we helped our cash position there. And so I appreciate the work there. And I would simply go back to one of the things that I said at the very beginning. What does NEO mean? How do we set ourselves apart? And I think this is the term that I said a year ago, and I think that you've heard it in some of the staff or the faculty workshops. It's connectedness. And when I say connectedness, you can read the definition: state of being connected and having a close relationship with other people. And I'd interchange people with your colleagues. I'd interchange that with our students, because first and foremost, we do not have jobs without students. Who are we as an institution? We are a residential, relationship-driven campus. And you don't know where the Norsemen are if you don't have conversations with people. And so I challenge you this year to go beyond the classroom and help connect with our students and each other. And it's a powerful thing, folks. I mean, the 2 minutes that it takes to stop and talk to a student and meet them outside of the classroom is something that they'll remember for a long time. I hear, I'm not going to pick on Chip, 38th year, I'm picking on Chip. But I hear people from 25 years ago that talk to me today that says that I said something, I don't recall it, but I said something that impacted them, and they still recall it today. And so I challenge you to take 2 minutes to get connected way beyond the classroom. And I will follow on with the next step, the next comment. Connectedness builds belonging. And every role matters on this campus. And that does not list everybody. And quite frankly, we're in a competitive marketplace, folks. People have choices. People talk. It takes 90 plus years to build a reputation, 100 plus years to build a reputation. It takes one bad thing to ruin your reputation. And so talk positively, engage, build these relationships with each other, because I think that's who we are. I hear that from you all, but I think we have to be intentional as it relates to doing this. We're going to see this fall, and I went over a couple of points that I didn't make earlier. We're looking close to 700 students living on campus this fall. 700 students. I don't know the last time that we've had close to 700. Obviously, that will cause some stress. Jim, Roland, but it's who we are. And so let's make sure that we connect with all those students that are here. And I would say, when I start saying about how are we going to get connected, you start with Saturday when they move in. And so we'll have Camp Row at 4:30, followed by a business community fair. There we go. Thank you for the word. It's probably there somewhere, but I'm learning that I need glasses a little bit more and more every day. But get connected. Ask questions. Because if you approach them there outside of the classroom, they're more likely to ask the question when they have a problem. And the question that they don't have when they have a problem means lower retention rates. That means they don't come back. And so I believe we've done some amazing things over the last couple of years to connect, but be intentional about connecting going forward. Alumni are important to us. Their stories are our story. I've already shared a post this morning. We've got Jeremy Shockey coming to campus this morning, and he is a great example of somebody that put hard work in, and this is quote paraphrase from Dell Patterson, who posted on my page a little bit ago, of a guy that took advantage of the great opportunities that were here for him to build a career of what he wanted to do. And we are encouraging our students to chase their dreams. They're not all going to be athletes. They're going to be all over the spectrum as it relates to employment, whether it be a classroom teacher, whether it be a college president, whatever it may be. Dreams do begin here. And so connect with alumni. Homecoming weekend, October 24 and 25. I challenge you to find an alumni member of your department to get them back on campus this next year. Connect. Have students get connected to former students. Our story is only as good as the story of our alumni. And so, again, connectedness. But also be intentional, and that kind of gets into my third point as we move forward. We've got a few things coming up. That next bullet right below it, the fourth one, is here before we know it as it relates to HLC. This summer, we had a retreat. We talked about our successes. We also planned out goals for the upcoming year. I also introduced to this group that we will be gathering again, and this is department chairs, department heads, if you will, representatives, faculty, senate, staff association, to help continue the conversation throughout the academic year with administrative council. And so we will meet 4 times, 2 times in the fall, 2 times in the spring, talk about data-informed decision making, continuation of what we've done in the retreat. But really, we are also getting prepared for HLC that takes place in February of 2027. We are doing, you all, not me, you all are doing excellent work as it relates to the things that we have been told about that we were not great about a couple of years ago, assessment. We are doing much better, and we've got a great path forward, but it will be here before we know it, and before we know it. And so that's a group that we're going to lean into to help make sure that communication is good about left hand and right hand going on this campus. And I'm excited about the work there, and we'll be communicating out in the near future as it relates to those dates for the fall and the spring. With that said, I told you that we want to invest in our people. It's part of one of our strategic goals. And so the last bullet is true. You have another day of leave on Monday, December the 22nd, for our staff. We want to continue to invest in our people when you have options of places that you could be besides here, but you've chosen to impact student lives, and that means the world to us. We're going to continue to be innovative as we navigate the future of higher education. There are a lot of variables that we don't control, but I promise you that this leadership team is committed to doing what's right for this institution, first and foremost, and our students. And as we continue to navigate forward, we're not going to lose sight that we're here to serve students. And so I'm very excited about the fall semester, the enrollment, where we are. A lot of institutions across the state are not in a position of where we are right now. And so we have a lot to be thankful for, and I'm thankful for each and every one of you all. And as I close, I just simply say that I truly believe that our best days are right in front of us. And we will get there soon with your help. And so, I firmly believe we can accomplish a whole lot more when we row together. And so, once a Norseman, always a Norseman. Go, go, NEO. You all have a great day.